High in the embrace of ancient mountains, a village slumbered. The first light of dawn painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, casting a serene glow over the landscape. The village, nestled in the cradle of these towering peaks, seemed almost otherworldly in its tranquility. It was a place where time seemed to drift like the mists that clung to the peaks above. The fog moved with a life of its own, weaving through the trees and over the rooftops, whispering secrets of the past to those who would listen. The village was small and unassuming, its stone houses huddled together as if seeking warmth from the biting mountain air. Each house, with its weathered stones and moss-covered roofs, told a story of resilience and endurance against the elements. Yet within its heart, a secret whispered on the wind, a legend passed down through generations. The wind carried tales of old, swirling through the village square, rustling leaves and stirring the souls of those who dared to dream. It spoke of a hidden path, a secret way through the mountains, leading to a realm of unimaginable beauty. This path, shrouded in mystery, was said to be visible only to those pure of heart and brave of spirit. The villagers spoke of the path in hushed tones, their voices tinged with awe and trepidation. Around flickering fires and in the quiet corners of their homes, they shared stories of those who had ventured forth, never to return. Some dismissed it as mere folklore, a fantastical tale spun to entertain wide-eyed children. They laughed at the notion of a hidden realm, choosing instead to focus on the tangible realities of their daily lives. But there were others, their eyes shimmering with a spark of ancient knowing, who believed. They held on to the hope that the legends were true, that somewhere beyond the veil of the ordinary lay a world of wonder and magic. They believed in the hidden path and the wondrous realm it led to, a realm spoken of in hushed whispers and guarded by secrets as old as time. This belief was a beacon, guiding their hearts and minds through the mundane. The legend of the hidden path was more than just a story. It was woven into the fabric of the village's existence. It was a thread that connected the past to the present, binding the villagers in a shared heritage of mystery and wonder. It lived in the rustling leaves of the ancient forests that surrounded them, in the murmuring of the mountain streams, and in the very air they breathed. The natural world around them seemed to hum with the energy of the legend, a constant reminder of the magic that lay just beyond their reach. It was a legacy passed down from their ancestors, a tangible connection to a time when magic and reality walked hand in hand. The elders, with their weathered faces and wise eyes, were the keepers of this legacy, ensuring that the stories and traditions were never forgotten. And for some it was a call, an irresistible lure that whispered of adventures yet to be lived. These brave souls felt the pull of the unknown, the promise of discovery and the thrill of stepping into a world where the impossible became possible. Leah, a girl with eyes as blue as the summer sky and hair as dark as the raven's wing, grew up on the tales of the hidden path. These stories were not just bedtime tales, they were the very fabric of her childhood, woven into her dreams and aspirations. Her grandmother, a woman seasoned by time and wisdom, was the keeper of these stories. She had inherited them from her own grandmother, and so the legacy continued, passed down through generations like a precious heirloom. She would often gather Leah close, her voice a soothing melody as she spun tales of the path and the wonders that awaited those brave enough to seek it. Each story was a tapestry of adventure and mystery, filled with vivid descriptions that painted pictures in Leah's mind. Leah would listen, her imagination taking flight as her grandmother spoke of shimmering waterfalls that cascaded into crystal-clear lakes, of hidden groves where the flowers glowed with an inner light, and of ancient trees that whispered secrets to those who would listen. She spoke of trees that touched the heavens, and of creatures unlike any found in their world. These were beings of pure magic, guardians of the hidden path who could change their form at will and spoke in riddles. She spoke of a realm bathed in an ethereal light where the air shimmered with magic and the very earth pulsated with a life force unknown to the human world. It was a place where time flowed differently, and a single day could feel like a lifetime. But her grandmother's voice would always take on a note of caution as she spoke of the path's dangers. She warned of the trials that awaited those who dared to venture too far, trials that tested the very essence of one's soul. She told Leah of the strange creatures that guarded the path, beings of shadow and mist that lured unsuspecting travelers astray. These creatures were cunning and relentless, preying on the fears and desires of those who wandered into their domain. She spoke of the eerie whispers that echoed through the mountains, tempting those who strayed from the path with promises of power and forbidden knowledge. These whispers were like siren songs, impossible to resist and leading many to their doom. And she told her of the price one had to pay to enter this wondrous realm, a price that not all were willing to bear. It was a sacrifice of the heart, a commitment that demanded unwavering courage and an unbreakable spirit. Leah's grandmother, her heart heavy with the weight of generations past, would always end her stories with a warning. She had seen the consequences of those who had failed, and the sorrow in her eyes spoke volumes. "The path is real, Leah," she would say, her voice a low murmur, "but it is not for the faint of heart. It is a journey fraught with peril, where every step could be your last and every decision could seal your fate. It is a journey of no return, a path that demands everything and offers no guarantees. Those who embark on it must be prepared to leave behind all they know and love, for the path changes you in ways you cannot imagine. Promise me, child, that you will never seek it out, that you will not fall prey to its allure. For once you set foot on the hidden path, there is no turning back, and the world you leave behind will be lost to you forever." Years passed, and Leah blossomed into a young woman. The tales of the hidden path, once relegated to the realm of childhood fantasy, now held a different kind of power over her. The warnings of her grandmother, etched deep within her heart, did little to quell the burning curiosity that now consumed her. She yearned to see this wondrous realm for herself, to experience the magic that her grandmother had so vividly described. Late one night, while her grandmother slept, Leah made a decision that would change her life forever. She crept into the attic, her heart pounding in her chest, and retrieved a small wooden chest from its hiding place. Inside, nestled amongst yellowed parchment and dried herbs, lay an ancient map. It was the map her grandmother had always forbidden her from touching, the map that supposedly led to the hidden path. The map was old, its edges frayed and worn, the ink faded with time. But as Leah traced the lines and symbols with trembling fingers, she could feel a strange energy emanating from it. It was as if the map itself was calling out to her, urging her to embark on the journey it depicted. With a deep breath, Leah made her choice. Ignoring the nagging voice of her grandmother's warnings, she decided to follow her heart, her curiosity, and the ancient map into the unknown. The following morning, as the first rays of dawn kissed the mountain peaks, Leah slipped out of the village, the ancient map tucked safely in her pack. The air was crisp and filled with the promise of a new adventure, one that had been calling to her for as long as she could remember. She knew her grandmother would be furious, heartbroken even, but Leah couldn't shake the feeling that this journey was something she was destined to undertake. Her grandmother's warnings echoed in her mind, but the pull of the unknown was stronger, urging her forward. As she walked, the familiar surroundings of her village began to fade, replaced by the dense undergrowth of the ancient forest. The path ahead was shrouded in mystery, each step taking her further from the life she had always known. The forest welcomed her with an embrace both exhilarating and unnerving. The trees seemed to whisper secrets, their leaves rustling in a language only the forest could understand. Towering trees, their branches heavy with moss and lichen, formed a verdant canopy overhead. casting the forest floor in perpetual twilight. The air was thick with the scent of earth and foliage, a heady mix that filled her senses. Strange and wonderful plants, their leaves a riot of colors and textures, lined her path. Each step revealed new wonders, from delicate ferns to vibrant flowers that seemed to glow in the dim light. The air hummed with the drone of insects, the chirping of unseen birds, and the rustle of small creatures darting through the undergrowth. It was a symphony of life, a constant reminder that she was not alone in this ancient place. Leah pressed on, her senses alight with every step. Each sound, each scent, each sight was a new piece of the puzzle she was determined to solve. She felt a strange sense of peace settle over her as she ventured deeper into the forest's embrace. It was as if the forest was a living entity, guiding her, protecting her. It was as if the forest itself was guiding her, leading her towards her destiny. The path seemed to unfold before her, each turn revealing a new clue, a new direction. As the day wore on, she began to notice subtle changes in her surroundings. The light grew dimmer, the air cooler, and the forest seemed to grow more ancient with each step. The trees grew taller, their trunks thicker and more gnarled. They stood like silent sentinels, guardians of secrets long forgotten. The air took on a strange, almost electric quality, charged with an energy she couldn't quite place. It was as if the very atmosphere was alive, buzzing with anticipation. It was then that she stumbled upon a sight that made her heart skip a beat. In a small clearing, bathed in an otherworldly light, stood an ancient stone archway. There, in a small clearing, bathed in an otherworldly light, stood an ancient stone archway. It was partially hidden by vines and creepers, its surface weathered and worn by the passage of time. It was partially hidden by vines and creepers, its surface weathered and worn by the passage of time. Yet even in its dilapidated state, the archway radiated an aura of power, of ancient magic. But even in its dilapidated state, the archway radiated an aura of power, of ancient magic. Leah could feel the energy emanating from it, a palpable force that seemed to call to her. Leah knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that this was the entrance to the hidden path. Her heart raced with a mix of fear and excitement as she stepped closer, ready to uncover the secrets that lay beyond.